is July, the month of the Mets. NBA free agency starts. James Harden, where's he going? Luke's got him in the background. All getting covered on Rivals tonight. Let's hit it.
Oh my God! I'm embarrassed! You're flying!
Welcome in. It's almost time.
Welcome back to week 3 of the Rivals podcast. I'm Luke, he's Jordan, I'm Philly, he's New York. I'm the cool Philly sports fan, he's a scumbag New York sports fan. Let's get into it with a sponsor.
Our sponsor of tonight is FanUp. FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily MLB contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. That's a $50 value at FanUp in the App Store. And we're going to kick it off with our poll question of tonight. Sixer fans should feel good about trading James Harden. Agree or disagree? Luke, I'll let you open up this can of worms.
No. I want the floor, so you go first.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so I'm going to have to agree because James Harden definitely clogged up the Sixers floor. There wasn't a lot of movement, I feel like, in their offense. And although he is a star and hasn't done too much for Philly, he can show what he has done in the past with Oklahoma City and the Rockets. But I think it's time to move on for them. I think you got to give Maxey the ball or maybe even bring in a guy like Dame Lillard. Or let's even see if they bring in a guy with potentially Paul George and, you know, some bench depth in the Clippers. But I think as a Sixers fan, you gotta feel good about getting James Harden out of your locker room, getting him off your books and getting him out of Philly. So that's what I'm going to have to agree with that.
All right, I'm going to disagree to the poll. Sixers fans should not feel good about trading James Harden. They should feel any positive feeling in the entire world. They should feel good. They should feel satisfied, ecstatic, excited. They should feel anything they want to feel. I am on top of the fucking world. Why? Why am I on top of the world? Well, because I had no faith whatsoever that Daryl Morey would do what he ended up doing, which is letting him go and not getting the faith and not getting caught up in him and their relationship. I did not see this coming at all. Props to him. A few things with this. Number one is, again, the huge winner of this is Daryl Morey, because I shouted on him a lot last week just because of a move that I thought was coming. He shocked me, he shocked us all, and now here we go. He's probably on the way out. And I think Sixer fans who are, including myself, a bit impatient and a little bit on edge about what's been going on so far, I kind of feel like we should take a breath, because Daryl Morey has been proven, especially after this move, to be a very, very quality executive. You look at what he got into when he came here. People forget this. We had Al Horford, that horrible contract. He had 3 years left, making a shit ton of money. No one wanted him here. He was an invaluable asset. It seemed impossible to get rid of him. Ben Simmons, who was at the time seen as valuable. Tobias Harris just got paid, so he came into that contract. He didn't hire Doc Rivers. None of that stuff. So if you want to go back since he's been here, you want to look at all the negatives. That next season, he traded Al Horford. He traded Josh Richardson. He brought in Seth Curry. He brought in Danny Green, shooters that ended up getting the 1 seed. I get it. They didn't make it out of the second round, but you cannot blame Daryl Morey for that one. Blame Ben Simmons, blame Doc Rivers, whoever you want on that one. Not his fault. Now, in terms of this, it's not quite the same. It's a little bit different. Ben Simmons is a bit more valuable. He had more years on his deal. At the time, he was seen as a young player that might, contribute to a winning team. So I believe that this is a very good thing, because he did the same thing to a certain extent with Ben Simmons. He waited to get the offer that he wanted. Now, do I want Paul George in a dream scenario? Of course. I would love Paul George from the Clippers. Same time, if you get back to me and you give me Terrence Mann and you give me Robert Covington or Norman Powell and draft picks, I'm still thrilled. I get it. You're trading an all-star and you're getting expiring deals and draft picks. What are you doing? I'm saying to that is you then build yourself in 2 years. You can build yourself with Embiid and Maxey. And yes, you want to talk about the gap year. You want to talk about all that shit about the gap year. Let me tell you something. If I said it last week, I'll keep saying it. I'll say it again here. James Harden is a loser. Look at this guy. He is a fucking loser. If he's on your team, especially this team with Daryl Morey and all these guys, there is no way. Talk about a gap year. There is no chance that you win a title this year. So I'm fine with putting it off. And all these people are talking about Embiid and his attitude and what he feels and how is he going to feel about this. You want to tell me with a straight face, Daryl Morey did this. He did this. He hired the coach asking Embiid. He did all these things asking Embiid. The Simmons thing, asking Embiid. You think he would do this without Embiid's approval? You are out of your damn mind. Embiid is going to be fine. He's going to be here. I believe that. Again, we also talk about it in the past. I think guys that came from other countries and from different backgrounds, they don't care about being in the big market. Sure, they want to win, but I think it means something to Embiid to win here. I truly believe that. And again, I think Daryl would have backed up and asked Joel, like, hey, we're moving on from James. He's a fat fucking loser. We got to get off his deal. We can't pay him 3 years. What are we going to do? And I think he was okay with that. You know why? Because also here's the thing. People want to say we're losing an all-star. First of all, I have one thing to say to you. He's not an all-star. One, because he didn't make the all-star team last year. And two, because he's a minus 23 in the playoffs in the last 2 seasons. So if that's an all-star to you, I don't know what an all-star is. I really don't. I don't know. And the second thing is Tyrese Maxey, given the ball more, given more usage and all those things. And Tobias Harris had the lowest usage rate of his entire career. He's been in the league forever. I think 13, 12, something like that, however many years. His rookie year, he had more of a usage rate. So if I have Tyrese Maxey, I have an all-star on my team. Or at least someone. James Harden wasn't an all-star, so I'm not losing that either. So we'll see. I think Sixer fans, again to the poll, absolutely agree. Take it even further. They should be ecstatic, excited, all the things in the world. Let's go. This is great news.
Yeah. All right, we'll open up with the first topic of today. So Harden trade predictions going off of the poll question. So I wrote down 5 possible trade suitors and also a possible trade package. So I'll start out with my first one. I've Harden to the Clippers, and in return, the Sixers would get back Paul George, Norman Powell, and Marcus Morris. Paul George, he's an all-star, great 3-and-D player, can give you that shooting guard, small forward that you need. And then Norman Powell and Marcus Morris can provide valuable minutes off the bench after the Sixers have lost now Milton, Niang, and McDaniels off the bench. It can definitely improve their bench and turn it around very quickly. So I definitely feel like that could be worked out with the Clippers in that Harden would be a great fit for LA with Russ and Kawhi, and could also give them another playoff run. But yeah, that's my first package. Luke, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably gonna go to LA again. I think there's a reason not many teams want him is because they know who he is at this point in his career. I don't want to come off like a Harden hater. I think he deserved to be on that top 75 team. He's one of the more prolific scorers in the history of the league. But time's up, buddy. This is who you are. So it would also not really surprise me before we go into the trades that he goes ahead and he looks at his fat suit looking like this again, trying to get the hell out of here because he's embarrassed. Oh, wait. I completely forgot to bring this up in the intro. I have a huge problem, a giant problem with this report coming out that he's upset and he thinks it's unfair the way that we've dealt with him or whatever the hell. I don't want to mix up the words. There was something like that. He's upset of our negotiation or whatever the hell. Let me ask you this, dude. What the fuck were you expecting when you played like that? You were minus 23 in the playoffs the last 2 years. What do you expect out of us? You expect your boy to bend over and give you all the money you want? That's not how it works. Just because you're a big name and he played in the league for a long time does not mean your boy is going to do what you want him to do. In fact, he did the right thing. He's getting rid of you because you're a fat loser. But going back to the trade, I think LA is probably the only spot you can really realistically get anything back. I mean, can you name any other? I saw Chicago. I don't believe that they'd want to do that.
Chicago was actually 5 on my list, so I'll go down my list.
All right, yeah.
So,
Wait, let's just touch on the Clippers first.
Yeah.
I think to get in a dream world, number one guy is Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're gonna get Paul George.
I don't think they're returning him.
I don't think they'll get him back.
Bench pieces.
Right. Well, even again, as I said in the intro, I think if you give me Terrence Mann, if you give me Norman Powell and 2 picks, now I have money, draft picks, and guys that surround my 2 best players, which are Maxey and Embiid. So I'm feeling really good about that. Obviously, I'd want Paul George, but if it's again, I'd rather have Terrence Mann, Norman Powell, and 2 picks than a year of James Harden. Completely, without a doubt in my mind, 100%. Because you can do things with those picks and those players. James Harden, again, is a total gap year in itself. You're not winning shit. Stop lying to yourself if you think him on this team is winning you anything. It's not. And I see this comment, Justin Kotler, if Harden doesn't play, you guys get swept against the Celtics. Let me tell you something. If you are an all-star in the NBA, so he claims, and so he wants all this money and all this stuff, let me tell you something. You're one of those people that wants to say he won us 2 games. Yeah, he did win us 2 games. That's great. You know what he also did? He lost us the rest of the 5. So that is way more telling to me. Out of all the games he's played for us in the playoffs, he's minus 23. Maxey, Embiid, McDaniels, all these guys are in the positives. Tobias Harris, he's in the negatives. What does that tell you? He's slowing us down. He's got to go. And thank God Daryl Morey realized that. But I mean, it's like, can we stop with this 2-game thing? If you're an all-star, you win your team 2 games. That's what you do. In fact, you take them further than that. You lift them up every time you step on the court. Jimmy Butler does that. Tatum does that. Steph Curry does that. LeBron does that. All these guys do that. He does not do that.
Fuck.
Yeah, he does not do that, especially not now. So could we please can we stop about this 2 games? I mean, my God. I mean, dude, he has 2 games worth 40 points, and these Harden stands won't shut the fuck up. It's unbelievable. And then they want to blow him, and he's so good. If he's so good, then he should do that more often. I don't understand. It makes no sense. Let's not talk about the 5 games he played like shit. How dare we? How dare we do that? But yeah. All right, you can go on to your next team.
All right, so my next team is actually a surprise. So there's been rumors of Lillard going to the Heat, but I actually have Harden going to the Heat, and in return, the Sixers get Lowry and Oladipo. You know, they get 2 guards that can maybe Lowry doesn't start.
Oladipo just got flipped to Oklahoma City, I think. But you can still find I mean, I agree Miami would be a spot if they don't get Dame. You could probably find in another guy.
Yeah, probably Lowry. I mean, I've seen a lot of deals going off, or a lot of rumors of maybe even Hero getting moved. So I mean, if the Sixers get a guy like Lowry or Hero that can give you a bench point guard behind Maxey, even in a 6-man role, I think that would be very vital for the Sixers. You know, they haven't had too good of a 6-man who was the 6-man this past year? Niang?
Melton.
I mean,
I like Melton a lot.
Melton would move into the starting lineup.
I think, I think they just need more guys like him. Honestly, he's great. I thought he was great. He kind of slipped off a little bit in the playoffs, which wasn't great. But I think that getting a guy like him again, Terrence Mann, he would do great for. I would love that. They just signed Patrick Beverley. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and praise Pat Beverley like he's some, like he's in his prime anymore. He's not. But like, I'm totally cool with bringing an energetic guy like that off the bench. Like he'll bring some energy out. I like
fucking Pat Bev.
I like it. I mean, I'm not gonna throw my hands up
He is
about it.
a
But,
savage ass motherfucker.
yeah, I like it though. Him and PJ, dude. Wow.
So my third trade, and I personally, as a Knicks fan, do not like this, but it is Harden to the Knicks for RJ, Quickly, Grimes, and a couple picks. And I
Why
don't
the
know. I don't
fuck
know
would the
how
Knicks
RJ.
do
I don't
that?
know how RJ would fit up with Maxey and Embiid, but I do think the Knicks definitely need to move on from him. He's not a great fit with Brunson and Randall, like you've said in previous shows. 3 lefties isn't the way to go. They definitely need to move on with a forward or even a center. But we're not talking about the Knicks right now. We're talking about the Sixers. But the Sixers, if they get RJ, they get Quickly off the bench, 6-man runner up, and then also Grimes, a good young 3-and-D guard. I think this trade would do wonders for the Sixers. Who even is on their bench right now?
I mean,
Like, who
I
are we
like
talking about?
I like the RJ thing. If you have Maxey as your second star, the one thing you need is size and defense. So RJ will definitely bring you that.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. Again, like especially with Embiid, you really need shooting. And I love I'm a big RJ guy. I think he gets a lot of shit, but I'm unsure if the fit in Philly would be great. I mean, again, I would trade Harden for Barrett. Like if they did that, I'd be pretty excited. To get a younger guy again, to build around Embiid and Maxey, athletic, plays defense. I would like that a lot. But the Knicks would not. There's no way they would have to give up. They wouldn't have to give up.
They're not giving up their young
Yeah,
guns.
no, but
They're
like
not
even
giving up their
if
young guns.
I think Barrett might be enough in itself. Like very low key. Because I mean, I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I mean, again, yeah, Harden is a lefty too, which is pretty funny, and he also takes a ball to. I mean, the Knicks aren't trading for him. They'd be stupid to do that. But I mean, I like the RJ fit's interesting. I don't hate it. It's okay. I'd be pretty excited if they did that. He's young. I like him.
I would really hope to get him out of fucking.
But they wouldn't have to trade Quickly and all those other guys.
Dude,
they're no chance.
They'd move quickly. Now with Toppin going to Indiana, they definitely need to move quickly. Because I mean they don't have many other contracts. I mean, what are you're gonna trade Josh Hart, who you just signed?
No, but I'm saying Harden, his value to me is equal at this point to RJ, especially if only on a 1-year deal.
I feel like though with
he can walk after next year.
Contracts, and I don't know.
Oh, is that what I mean? Whatever. It's not gonna happen. They're not going to New York anyway.
Yeah. All right. Number 4. Houston doesn't have many guys that are on the books for a lot of money, but what I thought of and what I think is actually a pretty good fit is Kevin Porter, Jalen Green, and Jayshawn Tate all going to Philly for Harden. And well, these guys aren't, they're not guys that are house names. However, they do provide the Sixers with developmental pieces and can definitely give the starters like Maxey and Tobias some rest down the stretch.
I just don't the Rockets just spent so much money that I don't think they're looking to add the Harden.
I don't know, dude. What if they're like, let's win now? I mean, they just signed Brooks.
Here's the thing, and I'll answer that question. Anyone with a brain who has watched NBA basketball the last 5 years will not 5 because in Brooklyn he had moments. If you've seen the last 2 years, I'll leave it at that. If you want to win now, the last thing you're going to do is give up assets for a guy looking like this, playing like shit, and never plays well when it matters. You're not going to do that, especially because
they got optimism. Everybody has optimism in this fat bearded fuck for some
which
reason.
Is so
Everybody
stupid.
does.
I think people are done. Only organization left in the league is a team like the Clippers, who will do anything to market themselves, will do anything to, get on that name brand like the Lakers. They'll do anything to do that. And in terms of fit, I think that's the only thing left is for him to go there. but they're still not winning shit, especially because, I mean, good luck getting Kawhi, Paul George, and Harden healthy at the same time in the playoffs. Good luck with that one. I don't see that working out. But I think they're the only team left that would do that, honestly.
All
My
right. I
opinion.
mean, I'll just offer up my fifth. Actually, what Ziller said in the comments, Levine and Caruso to the Sixers for Harden and Melton. Um, Melton was added in there just because with contracts and with money, it just made the most sense. But I feel like Levine is a guy that doesn't need the ball in his hands. I mean, he was surrounded by DeMar DeRozan these past couple of years, who is a ball dominant forward. Often takes the ball up. Levine is a spot up shooter. Can produce by himself. Can move with the ball and without the ball. And I think him next to Maxey and Harris and Embiid would be a very good fit. And then you also have Caruso, a guy, veteran forward, went to the playoffs with the Lakers, went this past year, but didn't get too far with the Bulls. But just a guy that can give you, like I've been saying, like I've been preaching, valuable bench minutes that the Sixers have lost this offseason. And, they gotta get these rotational pieces. They gotta get these role players because the Sixers haven't had a great bench these past couple of years, and I truly think that's one of the main reasons that they're not making it past the second round is because they're giving these guys like Maxey, Embiid, Harden, Harris, they're giving them 35, 40 minutes a game. These guys need to rest. I mean, you see what Embiid does down the stretch. He gets tired out and he sits out games, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I see that, but I'm not a big Levine guy. You're probably gonna not agree with this. This could be a hot take. I think Levine's a good player. I do. I think he puts up a lot of stats on a team that fucking stinks. And I think, again, you might shit on me about this one, but hear me out. I don't believe that he's any better than Tobias Harris is. Two
That's
different
a
players.
crazy take.
No,
That's a
no, no.
crazy
And
take.
the reason I say that is because when Tobias Harris got the touches he got on a similar team like the Clippers, he put up 20 points a night too. And then what happened? He came here, and now everyone hates him. I don't think bringing in Zach LaVine, first of all, is a good compliment to Maxey, because I think he kind of does need the ball in his hands a little bit.
I don't know, man.
Because he's not a catch and shoot player. Like in a dream, there's not many guys like this in the league. There's not. In a dream world, you get a guy like Mikal Bridges, a guy like that who can stand. And again, you're not getting Mikal Bridges, but a guy like that, a guy who can stand out there, make threes, and play defense. Simple as that. That's it. That's all you need. That's how all these teams are built. We say it all the time. 1 and 2. That's it. Those are the only 2 all-stars you need on your entire team. You don't need another one. You don't need a third. You don't need a fourth. That's all you need. You need guys outside of your 2 that can complement them. Look at this again. I get it. They didn't make it out of the second round, but I think that's because they had a gutless loser, Ben Simmons, in the playoffs. The 1 year, the best compliment that they've had to those 2 guys was Danny Green, Seth Curry, all those guys. What'd they do? They were the best team they were the best Joel Embiid team. They were the 1 seed. That was their best chance to go to the finals. And maybe the Jimmy year too. Another guy that complimented well. He got the ball more. I think that, Zach LaVine, I don't know if he fits well with Maxey. Honestly, I don't see it. I really don't. Defensively, what is he giving you? I don't know. I don't love it. But then again, if I woke up tomorrow and they traded James Harden for Zach LaVine, I wouldn't be like punching things. But I'm not. Again, I would take the draft picks and the expiring deals and Terrence Mann from the Clippers ahead of Zach LaVine because of what I just said. I don't think Zach LaVine gets you over the hump because he's not a compliment to those guys. And I think he does need the ball in his hands. He's averaging 23 or so points on a horrible team. I mean, they're brutal. They haven't made it out of the first round, let alone the second round. Why do we need to trade for this guy? Whatever. We'll see.
Any other trade predictions? Since clearly all of mine, other than fucking LA, were ass. So
No,
let's hear
it's
what you
not
guys
you. I mean,
say.
if you come up with 5, I would think that those are the best 5. I'd agree with you if you want to come up with 5. I just don't think there's any more than the one you get, which is why I don't know. I can already see this. I see Sixer fans going absolutely fucking ballistic when this trade comes out because there's only one team that's interested in him, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Daryl Morey is going to trade for Zach LaVine. I don't think he wants to do that. I think he wants to get more guys on the team. And think about what Nick Nurse likes, too. I mean, that was really telling in his presser when they asked him, like, do you want James Harden back? And he basically said, fuck you, no. It took him a million times to say yes. Like, if he really wanted him back, he would have said yes the first time. So he wants guys that are going to play defense and rebound. That's how long defenders, athletes, that's who he coaches. The Siakams, the Ananobis, that's who he coaches. And that's how he won a title. And if you look at it here, I don't see him going to Morey and saying, yeah, let's go out and trade for another scoring guard. Like, I don't see that. I see him saying, let's build around Maxine and Embiid with big, tall, lengthy wing defenders. So, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah. All right. Should we move into our next topic of NBA free agency?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'll start off. One contract I was very surprised by, and I do think he did deserve some money, but not all of the money, is Halliburton getting 5 years, 260. I mean, this guy, sure, he had a great year with Indiana. He doesn't deserve the max. He doesn't deserve the max. I mean, that they're trying to make this team they're trying to expedite this team's journey to the playoffs in 1 year when it's going to take a couple of years. Sure, you got pieces like Halliburton, you got pieces Buddy Hield. They traded for Toppin now, which as a Knicks fan, it hurts to see him go, but he wasn't a great fit in New York. Randall always took all his minutes, and frankly, he needed to see the floor more, which they weren't going to give him those minutes as they love Randall in New York, which I hope he gets out of New York. I hope him or RJ leaves New York this offseason. But yeah, no, I was very surprised by Halliburton getting this bag.
I agree with you. I don't know if he's as good as Anthony Edwards and some of these other guys that got that same contract. But I also think market is a huge factor in this. Like, they have to give them, like, part of being in a market of Indiana, Detroit, those kind of places, you have to overpay people to get guys to play where you are. And, like, let's be honest, if he asked for that money, which I'm sure his agent did because they're smart, they have to give him that money because their next best option is nothing. Like, that's their best shot at winning. I do agree with you, though. If you look at the contracts, I mean, it is absurd that he's making like all that money compared to the rest of those guys.
Yeah.
Same time, though, I don't think that they really had much of a choice. I think they had to do that, given the fact that they're Indiana and they haven't proved to be a winning team in a very long time since like Paul George. I see this comment though of Nurse better go on a diet before he hits the Wells Fargo. It's facts. I mean, he did look a little chunk today at the he looked a little plump. He could use the Weight Watchers a little bit at the Summer League game. I'll get into that though later in the show. I'll give him a little call out.
Yeah. Another guy that got the bag, same bag actually as Halliburton, LaMelo Ball. You know, with the Hornets picking Brandon Miller and all these young guys, you know, they got Bridges, they got Washington. Who even plays center for them? Is it Mark Williams? Yeah, Mark Williams. You know, the Hornets are headed in a good direction. I don't want to say the right direction.
I mean, it's only up from here. Only up from here.
But again, LaMelo Ball wasn't he hurt at points last season? Like,
yeah, he was hurt like pretty much the entire year.
Yeah, and I mean, for him to get that much money, again, the same as Halliburton, who Halliburton was an all-star, if I'm not mistaken. And definitely deserved the money more than LaMelo, but I'm just mind blown by both of these contracts.
Yeah, that's another one. I could definitely agree with that. But my lord, you see Brandon Miller today? Jeez,
No.
like I'm not one to like. It's the first summer league game, so you can't like go nuts with it. But he looked really, really, really bad. He had like he fouled at like you can't foul out in the summer league, but he had 6 fouls at like halftime. I mean, my God, like Jesus, he was not good. He finished the game with like 7 fouls. They got destroyed without like Wembanyama. Like he looked like I was watching some of the game. He did not look good at all. But
Yeah.
it's early. But geez,
It's
and
summer league. It's summer league.
Scoot Henderson, if he's not an all-star, I would be shocked. He's a fucking dog.
You think
I
if Dame gets out of there, I mean, he's running the show. I don't see how he doesn't.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be I'm not saying all-star's rookie year, but like he's a fucking beast. He's gonna be an all-star throughout his career, 100%.
Yeah. All right. Should we go to commercial break before we get more into
Yeah,
it?
we'll cut back
All right.
out.
Let's kick it to commercial break.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
All right. So one guy that I am excited for and one guy that got a great contract is Fred VanVleet, 3 years, 130 million. Going to a young team in Houston. You know, they got guys like Jalen Carter, Kevin Porter, who I mentioned before. Şengün has shown some bright spots. They got Tari Eason, Jabari Smith. They got a lot of young guys, and they truly needed a star. And I think VanVleet is a great fit for the Houston Rockets. You know, averaging 19.3 points per game last season, shooting about 34%. Can definitely spread the ball. You know, although he doesn't have guys like Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam, he does have some young assets that can spread the floor and give him the shot creators that he needs, that he had back in Toronto. So that was another contract that I actually really liked.
Yeah, I mean, even through all the money they spent, I think Jalen Green still somehow found the way to make headlines this weekend. But I'm
Oh,
not
dude,
gonna
I'm not getting into that.
I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, I mean, they spent a lot of money. They should be competitive this year. Amen Thompson, another guy that they drafted. They should definitely be better. I mean, a lot of people are coming at him hard in free agency that they paid him and Dylan Brooks and that they're spending too much money. I mean, the only questionable one I have is the backup center they signed, the guy from Phoenix, like Jock Landale, I think his name. Yeah, like that's a lot of money to give $30 million to, but we'll see how that one works. But
30 million?
Yeah, I think it was 4 over 30.
It might have been like 4 years, 50, I think.
I thought it was 4 over 32. Either way, a lot of money for a guy that probably is questionable to deserve it, but we'll see.
He might not even make the rotation.
Yeah, I mean, clearly he will, but either way, even if he does, like that's ridiculous. But I don't know. I think they're catching a little too much heat. In terms of my winner free agency, I have two. One's going to be the Pacers, who, I mean, again, a lot of like Bruce Brown made how much? Like, I get that. But same time, again, you're Indiana. You're going to have to overpay for these guys. And you look at the rotation now, they are deep. Name an Indiana team that's been this good, and it's been a while. Not saying they're going to win a playoff series. It's a little too early. Yeah, exactly. It's a little too early to go like hop on a limb and say that they'll win a playoff series and all that. But I'll say this: they're way more competitive now than what they were, and I thought they did a great job. And my other winners, the Lakers. I mean,
Lakers.
I don't know where they found all this money from. They just keep giving to people. They basically ran it back, and you bring in guys like Gabe Vincent, and they brought in
Taurean Prince and Jackson
Hayes. Right, like I don't know where they find this money. And they brought in Cam Reddish too, which I mean, I'm
I
not
saw
sure if he'll
that.
cut the rotation, but if a guy gets hurt, which always happens, he can plug in and give you some spark plug minutes. So I don't know where they found all that money from, but those are my definite two winners in free agency for sure.
Yeah, no, I definitely was surprised with the Lakers offseason. They had to after getting D'Lo and Vincent, they let Schroeder go. Who played some good minutes for them and definitely was a valuable piece sometimes in the rotation, although he didn't show up to every game. Um, I definitely thought they were one winner. And then another guy that I'm actually very excited for as a Knicks fan is DiVincenzo. Bringing back the three Nova guys from the 2017 championship team. Looking forward to see what this guy can do off the bench, and maybe even plug him into the starting lineup. I mean,
Yeah.
they tried with Josh Harden. Frankly, I don't think he was the right fit in the starting lineup, but DiVincenzo, I'm definitely very excited for. Definitely should.
Shout out Uncle Leon, my boy. He's doing things. I like how he's being smart because he understands we're not ready to win the title yet, but he's building a core. He's keeping his picks. He's not spending all his money on a guy like Van Fleet or Dylan Brooks or Bruce Brown or something like that. 50 million sounds like a lot of money, but do me a favor. Go across the league. There are much worse contracts than that. And in terms of 13 per year, that's pretty good for a guy like DiVincenzo, who's a very good role player. I like that pickup a lot. I think they've done a quietly good job. Not a lot of moves, but the right moves because they're a trade away and they're in New York and they have all these CAA guys. I mean, they're a trade away. They're a superstar wanting out away from being a serious contender. There's a reason they're keeping all these picks. I like what they've
I hope
done.
so. No, I mean that's what they did with the Obi trade. They're getting these picks because
Right.
hopefully they move them.
All these guys know something that the rest of the fans don't know. They know someone's about to get out. They know someone's unhappy or about something, and they're waiting. There's a guy every year. They're not stupid. They're waiting. My boy Leon was an agent. He knows. He knows how all these people work and get pissed off at their contracts and their teams and stuff. He was an agent. He knows.
Yeah. Also Russ's contract actually, he's making less than Jock Landale. He's making less than Dante
I never
DiVincenzo.
thought about that. That is
Russ
crazy.
is making $4 million a year.
Yeah,
And
that's nuts.
he averages a triple double sometimes during the season. I mean, it's ridiculous how much these guys are getting paid. Jeremy Grant got $32 million a year. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I hope for his sake that Dame goes back, but it's not looking like it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like these comments trying to trade Embiid. I mean, what?
That's Embiid for Chet and Josh Giddey in a first.
Yeah, let's trade Embiid for a guy who just broke his foot in the damn summer league. I mean, he could be horrible. Who knows how good Chet Holmgren is?
Yo, he put on
Josh
13
Giddey's
pounds, bro. Chill.
Josh Giddey's a good player though. I like Josh Giddey a lot. And a first round pick, I would need a whole lot more than that. I would need every pick that they got for Paul George and Russell Westbrook, if I'd even consider that. We're not winning with Embiid. So we're going to win with Chet Holmgren? He didn't even win in the summer league. He got hurt running down the court. What are we talking? I'm not telling you we will win with Embiid, but I'm telling you for damn sure we got a better chance with Embiid than Chet Holmgren. That's a lock, I'll tell you that. I'm going out on a limb.
What were your thoughts on the Suns, not having much money going into this offseason after making the Bradley Beal trade, after still having Kevin Durant on their payroll, having Devin Booker, Ayton, keeping campaign, and then signing guys like Eric Gordon being the most notable with Chimezi, Metu, Keita Bates, Diop, and then Okogie, Eubanks, and Lee all returning.
I mean, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen in terms of where they rank in the West. I put Denver 1,000,000% ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
I put LA maybe ahead of them. It's close, but then I feel like they're right there. Because, I mean, they're working. I saw like yesterday or something that they're working out like Darren Collison. Dude, he hasn't played in years. Like, this is what happens when you waste all your money on 3 stars. They're not going to win a ring. They're not. It's just not going to work. There's one
It never
ball.
works,
And I
yeah.
feel bad for Devin Booker. I love Devin Booker. Great player, absolute stud. KD's him too. But they just didn't do the right thing in building a team around him. Who knows? Maybe they trade Ayton for guys, and that could change my opinion. But as constructed right now, they did not move at all. There's not. I mean, Eric Gordon, you're going to get me hype over Eric Gordon. I mean, what are we acting like he was 5 years younger than he is? I mean, he hasn't been good in a while.
Also, like 30 pounds less.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
that
come
guy
on.
is a fucking bowling ball.
Yeah, like what am I supposed to get nuts over Eric Gordon? I mean, come on, let's relax. I'm not freaking out over that either. So they are who they are. I'm not. They're third, second-ish in the West. Maybe Golden State too. They could. It wouldn't shock
I was
me
going
if
to
they're
say,
better.
I think you forgot about Golden State.
Yeah, maybe they're better. Or Sacramento. Forgot about them.
Sacramento. What was the guy? They got like some EuroLeague champ.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Thunder got another guy like that too.
Yeah.
I don't know. They always get these guys.
Warriors rebuilding their
Oh yeah.
backcourt off the bench.
Loser free agency, by the way. The Warriors. They're the only team in the league, I saw this today, that don't have a player over 6'9". You lost to the Lakers because of your lack of size. And you trade for Chris Paul, which I'm not shitting on.
Wait, is Looney not over 6'9"?
No, he's 6'9". He rebounds well, but he's 6'9". So if
That's
you want to,
crazy.
so I don't fully. Where's your rim? They signed Dario Saric. I understand you're in love with this 5-out stretch 4, stretch 5 stuff. I get it,
They're not going to win games.
but
against,
you're
like,
not. You
Jokic.
need a guy. They had JaVale McGee. They had like Pachulia, like all these other when they won titles, and you need a
Mhm.
guy that can rim protect or something. I mean, this is nuts. What are we doing? They need a guy that. I mean, it's still early. They could sign somebody, and that opinion could change. But
Wait,
for now,
they dumped Wiseman too, right?
yeah, that was last season. He's gone. I mean, he doesn't even play on the Pistons anymore.
Yeah.
He's washed. Yeah.
All right, should we get into some baseball or any more on the free agency?
I feel like we're good. I mean, Dame, I feel like he's just going to Miami. Not really much to talk about. Like, is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's so like I've seen so many mock trades of a 3-way trade with them, the Sixers and the Clippers, and realistically, like the Sixers aren't getting rid of Maxey. You can't move on from Maxey. This guy hasn't even ran the show.
All right. I'm happy that they're saying he's untouchable, and I'm not mad at him for not trading Maxey. But if you were to tell me that I'm waking up tomorrow and Woj tweeted that we just got Damian Lillard and Maxey's in the trade, it's hard not to get excited. I'm not saying to do it. I'm not saying they should do it. But I would be that would be pretty exciting. But I do agree that it's
just Embiid and Dame. John Wick has to say.
I mean, yeah, they'd have to build out the roster. You keep Harris. And again, I don't think they should do it. I'm not lobbying for it. But I wouldn't be, all crying and upset if they did do it, But
yeah.
I don't think they're not going to do it. So it is what it is. Have fun in Miami.
All right. I'll start off with my Mets. We got some Mets and Phillies to talk about. So Mets weekend recap. We had a 2-1 loss. Fucking Drew Smith comes back from his 10-game suspension with rosin on his hand. Talked briefly about it last week as we were doing our show, and blows the game with a Joey Wiemer 2-run homer. Joey Wiemer, I believe he's a rookie, and like he has 12 home runs this year. Like what the fuck is good with everybody? Everybody's getting home runs, and it's just ridiculous. So then they come back with Ellen Mets still blow. Fuck off. All right. Tuesday. We got a win. Peterson returns with dominant 6 Ks, 6 innings pitched, 5 Ks. Nimmo 2 home runs. This guy found his bat out of nowhere. Like he used to be just a singles and doubles and maybe even triples hits. By the way, I love when he fucking runs out his walks, and I will stand by that. Everybody's like, oh, that's so annoying. I love it. Vogelback and Lindor each had a home run too on Tuesday. Wednesday, 5-2 loss. Senga, 8 Ks. This guy, I truly believe Senga is gonna be our ace next season. We're gonna dump Verlander and Scherzer. And then Hartwig comes in, blows the game. Ottavino, two earned runs too. I mean, the bullpen is our problem. We are truly missing Edwin Diaz this season. We have we don't have any middle relief besides Brooks Raley, and it is showing and it is hurting us. Going on Thursday, we got a 3-2 loss. Scherzer dominant with 9 Ks, and then we have this guy, Mackenzie McFarland, comes in. This guy, like, why are we calling up guys and then putting them in the game immediately? These guys need to be pitching bullpens. They can't be thrown right into these clutch situations. So we lose that game 3-2. We lose the series against Milwaukee 3-1. Friday 5-4 loss. We're up. We're going into the 8th, up 4-2. Patrick Bailey comes in and hits an absolute cock slap off David Robertson. David Robertson's had a pretty good season. I'll give him that. He's been the ace of the Mets bullpen besides Brooks Raley. Carrasco surprisingly had a good start. I mean, Carrasco is probably, I don't even know, 45 and should get the hell out of the MLB. He sucks. Saturday, 4-1 win. Verlander dominant through 7. Alvarez, Nimmo, Lindor each had a homer. Sunday, 8-4 win yesterday. Pham, 3 of 4. Alonso and Canna each with a home run. One of the factors of the Mets being so horrible, especially through June, is that before yesterday, in their last 19 at-bats with runners in scoring position, they were 0 of 19. If you get runners in scoring position, you got to get them in somehow. I don't care if you're walking. I don't care if you're getting singles, doubles, triples, home runs. You got to get them in. You got to score runs to win the fucking ball game. You can't have Verlander, Scherzer go out there and have a dominant start and then not have runs behind it. You have guys like Alonso, like Lindor, like McNeil that can put the ball in play. Nimmo put the ball in play. Tommy Pham, by the way, absolute tear right now. They're probably going to get rid of him because they are in no shape to make the playoffs, which good riddance to him if he does go, because I wish him the best of luck. But, yeah, you got to score runs to win games. And when they do score runs, you got to have the bullpen come in and be dominant. I don't care if it's fucking John Brigham or Brooks Raley or Ottavino or Robertson. We can't have Hartwig and McFarland and these bums coming. Drew Smith's got to go. Buck, get him out of New York. Mark Canha, another guy, get him out of New York. Mark Canha hit a home run last night, so be it. He is horrible. He got his spot taken by Tommy Pham, who is not even a great player. Pete Alonso, only bright spot in this lineup, selected to the All-Star game, even after missing 8 games, 24 home runs, 55 RBIs, 216 average. Like I said earlier, Tommy Pham, absolute tear. In his last 30 games, he has 6 home runs, 23 RBIs with a 340 average. And the last thing, July is our month. We were 17-8 in last July. I truly believe we can turn this shit around. Pete Alonso, he's going to win the fucking home run derby. We're going to turn this season around. Luke, get your fucking hand off your face. I got some Phillies notes too. All right. So Tuesday.
Wait. Was that your net? You're done with your Mets stuff?
Oh, I'm done with my Mets spew.
That was beautiful, because I have something to add that I just so happened to scroll by Twitter today.
Let's hear it.
So that'll add to that stuff. That was beautiful, though. Congrats. You got a lot off your chest. The Mets, they currently have the highest payroll in the league. Keep in mind. And then what are they, like 8 games behind 500 or something?
Well, last year it was 8, and then we went 3-4 in this last week, so probably 9.
All right, so they're 9 games behind 500. They have little to no chance of making the playoffs. They have the highest paid payroll in the league. And let's do this one too. The Mets, outside of this highest paid payroll, the guys are on the team. They're on the team right now. Sucking. Let's look at these guys. Robinson Cano. The Mets are paying $20 million right now. The Mets are paying James McCann $11 million right now. The Mets are paying Eduardo Escobar $9 million right now. There's a whole long list. There's a $4 million, a $3 million, a $1 million, $600K, $200K.
Still
Totals
paying Bobby
to
Bonilla.
totals to $49.8 million. They are paying an extra $50 million to guys who aren't even on their team. That is how horrible, that is how embarrassing, that is how shameful, and that is how abysmal the Mets are right now. And they're 9 games behind 500. I don't care if you win 75% of your games the rest of the season, which is not going to happen. But if it does happen, will you make the playoffs? Questionable. I don't even know.
We're not winning the division, I'll tell you that. But
no shit. They're not making the playoffs. I'm sorry. And it's not me taking a shot. Like, I'm dead serious.
I got some optimism. I don't got all
dude, I don't have Mets hate. Like, I'm not this huge like baseball like fan anyway. I don't care. It's just funny how horrible they are. Like, really, it's embarrassing. I don't have that much hate like all these other Phillies guys do. I don't really see it like that. But they are embarrassing. Dead ass embarrassing. But the Phillies, I mean, talk about embarrassing. You can't lose 2 out of 3 to the Nationals. Now they play the Rays. I believe it's on the road. Big game for Nola tomorrow. So, I mean, this is a very telling series. We'll see what goes on. But that's talk about embarrassing. I'm not going to lie. That's a pretty tough look. You can't do that at home.
Even after
up 3-0.
After sweeping the Cubs too.
Yeah, I mean, they were hot. I think they won. Oh, damn. I don't remember the stat. They won a shit ton of road games in a row. It was like a franchise record or most in a certain amount of time. It was like a lot. They won a lot of road games in a row. They went on a really nice stretch. And to lose 2 out of 3 to Washington at home is not good. That is, yeah, tough looks. Tough looks for the Phils. But it's early. We'll bounce. I feel like they're kind of in the mix of it all. Where are they in the wild card right now? Can we?
I think. Let me pull that up.
I'm pulling it up right now. Let's see. They are 1.5 out of the wild card, and they just finished playing out their best baseball. There's a lot of guys stuck in there. The Reds are right above them at a half a game out. Milwaukee's a half a game out. The Giants are right there. So
the Phillies will pass Milwaukee. The Reds, I don't know. The Reds are actually
they're hot. They're young and hot.
They're young and hot. They're actually one of my favorite teams.
If you look at the Phillies remaining schedule, you look at the series they have coming up, it is not easy. They're gonna have to play a lot better. Like series against Washington, it's coming to the point. I get it, it's like July, but you're gonna look back in like around that time when it's around playoff time, September. You're going to be looking back saying, damn, we should not have lost 2 out of 3 at home to Washington. Because you look at these series coming up, it is not easy. Tampa Bay, Padres, I guess, are not really that good anymore, but that's still tough. The Marlins they got. Then they got Milwaukee. The Orioles, like they got it pretty tough. So nothing easy coming up. And then I guess the month of August is pretty light. They got Kansas City and Washington, so that's pretty light. But, I mean, they're going to want some of those games back, I'm telling you, especially after the horrible start they had to begin the year, too.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be interesting. One bright spot for the Phillies, Castellanos making the All-Star team.
Facts.
After an absolutely abysmal season last year for the Phillies, batting .316, that's third in the NL right now, with 12 homers and 54 RBIs. So definitely they're leading slugger. I think he bats third in the lineup before Harper. Harper only has 3 home runs this year. Like he just doesn't hit dingers anymore. I don't know if it was the injury or like what's setting him back, but he isn't the same this year. Granted, I mean he's still putting the ball in play. He's still getting the hits. But quick shot at Schwarber, dude. You're batting a .188, and why is he still batting leadoff? Why? You want to start off the game with a guy that can get on base. Sure, he has 24 home runs. Or
wait, all right. So you're more of a baseball guy than me. This is a genuine question because I don't understand this for the life of me. People say that the leadoff guy should have the analytically, they have more at bats, correct?
Yeah.
So if Castellanos is having this career year, and I think he has like 12 home runs, and he is
12
like
home runs,
whatever you said in the NL and batting average, why
38.
the fuck isn't he batting first?
I wish I had a fucking answer.
I don't
mean,
is there something I'm missing here? I don't
no,
really understand.
even like a guy like Trey Turner. I mean, sure, he had an awful start to the year. I mean, the Phillies are sure as hell regretting, or they may not be regretting yet, but they're
It's a
regretting
little early,
saying
but yeah, it's a little early. But I see what you're saying.
even moving Bryson Stott up in the order to lead off. He was leading off
Right.
in the beginning of the season and was on an absolute was on a tear. He was doing terrific.
I don't get some of the moves they're doing, dude.
It's just
I don't get it.
it's very
They're hanging
interesting.
on a lot to shit that happened last postseason.
Oh,
That's
100%.
not the case anymore.
You know, they have their rotation though is starting to shape up pretty
Dude,
well.
Kyle Schwarber's got more fucking ads than like Shaq. It's unbelievable. He's on everything here. Wawa, fucking he's on posters
Fucking
and
Hoagie
billboards.
Fest. Hoagie
Yeah.
Fest, dude. He's eating all the hoagies
Yeah,
at
he's gotta
Hoagie
relax.
Fest.
He's gotta fucking relax with those. Jesus.
Yeah. Nah, but I mean Suarez coming back and he's looking like a obviously not yet, but definitely looking like a potential Cy Young.
Yeah, outside of yesterday, definitely.
Yeah,
Did not have to
yesterday he did
yesterday,
3.
but outside of that, he's been very well, playing very well.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the shout out, I guess. Moving on.
All right. Do you want to start off?
All right, I'll start off. Mine's pretty repetitive. I couldn't really, not much happened out there in the sports world, but this week, outside of the stuff we already talked about, I'm again just gonna shout out Daryl Morey. My God, I could not be more surprised that you're doing what you did. I mean, even if he doesn't get traded, which I think he will, to even just make him come back on the 1 year and not have him be on the team for more than 1 year is just amazing. God bless you, Daryl Morey. Don't listen to all these fans giving you shit. I'm not all excited about the offseason you've had so far, but fuck it, I'm with you, dude. Whatever you got to do, I'm riding this out with you. You're a great executive. I'm here for it. And also, again, we teased it a bit earlier, at least I did. Nick Nurse, looking a little plump, yes. He's probably too many hoagie fests himself. He probably needs to fucking relax. But he's out there in the summer league. Fucking sick, dude. The only reason I turned on the game was to watch him in the threads again. I mean, he did gain some weight now. I'm not gonna lie. They didn't make the playoffs, so it's more time for him off. But pretty shocking how much weight he gained. He should probably relax. But I mean, for him to coach in the summer league, putting a new voice out there, getting the program started again with a new voice, that's really exciting. So yeah, I mean, I'm very, very happy that he's out there doing his thing with the summer league. He's the only coach doing it right now. New coach getting his scheme together. He dropped the Canadian basketball team, which is something that he's done for a really long time that he stopped doing, and that program's looking really bright. They got Shea, however you say his name, really good player. RJ, bunch of other guys I'm not like thinking on the top of my head. So yeah, shout out. Doing great job in summer league. Did lose today, but good to see you there. It's cool.
Yeah. All right. Mine, you touched on it earlier, the Lakers. Adding valuable bench pieces, not taking a step back, but even a step forward, you could argue. With guys like Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince, and Jackson Hayes, who I mentioned earlier. The Lakers are, I believe, a top 3 team in the West. I truly believe it's the Nuggets. And then 2, I mean, you could argue there's a lot of arguable pieces. You could argue the Suns. You could argue who was I gonna say? The Kings. There's a lot of teams in the West, but the Lakers, rather than taking a step backwards with losing Schroeder and Lonnie Walker, they brought back Reeves, Rui, D'Lo, made it financially able, and then also brought in other bench pieces that can add to their hopefully championship run. LeBron ain't got much time if he's even coming back. I mean, isn't he still rumored that he may not even come back?
Yeah.
That is nuts.
But he's coming back though.
Yeah, nah, he's not done yet.
It's something would have surfaced by now if it was like very real.
He'll play until Bronny comes, and then it'll be it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Well, that's gonna wrap up Rivals again. I guess I'm the scumbag New York fan. With my boy, the Philly fan, fucking faggot. But that's it for today. Tune in next week again, every Monday at 10:30, where we talk sports and banter. So yeah, thank you for tuning in.